And we're live.
We're live.
Yay, it's Friday.
Thank God.
Made it through the week. Survived.
Yes.
How's it going?
All right. It's going fine. How about you?
I'm good. Excited for our conversation tonight.
Yes.
So, uh, for those of you joining us, thank you for checking us out. Today we will be talking about the Dragon Ball movie, Dragon Ball Super Hero. And yeah, I know it's been out for a while, but this was actually my first time seeing it. So, uh, looking forward to sharing my thoughts. Um, and you said you've seen parts of it, but this was like
Yeah.
your first time sitting down to actually fully watch it, right?
Yeah, exactly. This is like my first full viewing of it.
Cool. Um, okay. So, I guess trying to think if there's any other kind of stuff to get out of the way before we start the conversation, but I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Um, so,
Other than if you have not seen the movie, click off, I guess, because we're about to go into a lot of spoilers.
yeah, yeah, that is true. If you haven't seen the movie yet, uh, we appreciate you checking us out. But if you don't want to have things ruined for yourself, if you want to enjoy and see all the craziness uh, and experience it for the first time without knowing what's coming, other than what you may have seen in the trailers, I would definitely recommend going and watching it, and then come back and check out our review and see if you agree with the things that we say.
Yes.
Because obviously we're going to be giving our opinion about what happens in it and everything. Um, but if you're cool with the spoilers and want to hear what the movie's about, what goes on, and then decide you want to check it out later, that's cool too. We just want to give this heads up so we don't ruin things for people in case they haven't had a chance to see it yet. So,
Mhm.
uh, so with that being said, we'll get started. And do you want to kind of take point on this since this was kind of your recommendation,
Uh,
or
yeah, sure, I can do that.
all right? So I'll let you lead the conversation.
All right. So, Dragon Ball Superheroes. This came out, I think, a few years after the Broly film, which I
Yeah.
saw, which was phenomenal.
Yes.
Love that movie. So, I think at the beginning, though, when we saw the teasers, or when a lot of people saw the teasers and the trailers for this, the 3D animation kind of caught them off guard. They were like, "Oh, 3D! Like, what are we doing? Are we not going to 2D animation?" And I was the same way too, because I was like, "Oh, I don't know about this. I think it should be 2D." But everyone was surprised, including myself. The 3D actually is really well done in this movie. I was actually surprised by it. Like,
Yeah.
what did you think of the animation in this?
Uh, yeah, I think for the most part it was very well done. Uh, I think that there was like one spot where it kind of looked stiff, and I think that was when Goku was kind of standing back up at one point.
Yeah,
Um, that was the only time that something felt a little off with it, and wasn't bad. It was just it kind of stuck out to me.
yeah. I will. Yeah, no, going
But
off here. Yeah, I will say that. I think I don't know where I forgot where it's located on, but I think the scenes with Goku and Vegeta are probably not the best looking. I think for the movie in general, but they still look fine. But compared to the rest of the movie, you're like, oh, something seems a little bit off.
yeah, and we'll get in. I'll, we'll get into kind of why that is. As
Mm-hmm.
we're talking. But dang it, what was I going to say? Oh, I will say, going back to the animation, the like energy blasts and like the visual effects for that kind of stuff was amazing.
Oh yeah, no, they looked incredible.
Yeah, like just the way that they had like two different forces come together and blend, and you could still distinguish like which side was which kind of thing, and even
Yeah,
though it was starting to meld together, kind of stuff. And I mean, there wasn't. What was nice about this too is there wasn't there was a lot of energy blast, but not like it wasn't like the whole movie was just energy blast back and forth kind of thing.
Yeah, thank God for that. No, they actually get up close and physical with each other. There are a lot of like awesome martial arts happening in the movie, which is great because that's a pinnacle of Dragon Ball fights is that there's also martial arts. It's not just them shooting beams at each other the entire time. They also get up close and personal with hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah, which makes the Vegeta and Goku story even more interesting.
Yeah, because they don't go Super Saiyan at all. They don't take on any form. They're just in their base forms fighting each other out. I'm like, this is great.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we only get to see a small part of it, but it's good. It's good and it's funny.
Yeah, no, exactly. What else was I gonna say? Yeah, but no, going off 3 animation, the movie kind of starts off with well, actually, speaking of Goku and Vegeta, they actually take a back seat in this movie. Like they're not the main characters for once. We instead switch our focus to Piccolo. Really, is actually the main character of this movie, with Gohan kind of being like the second protagonist in a way. So you kind of have Gohan and Piccolo kind of taking up the mantle. And I actually thought that was a welcome change of pace because as much as I think everybody loves Goku and Vegeta, we could get a little tired of them. It's like, all right, we get it. Like, you get some of the other characters. Like, there's a bunch of plethora of characters in Dragon Ball universe that we can go after. I don't know why we have to keep focusing on them. I get it, they're main characters, but like in a movie sense, you can deviate a bit and focus on someone else.
And that's one of the things that is kind of interesting about the whole Dragon Ball series because like in the original Dragon Ball series, you had Piccolo was this huge threat, and Goku had to keep rising to the task to take him on. And and that's where he also first encountered the Red Ribbon Army, which comes into play in this movie. But like he really had to push himself to get to the level to compete against Piccolo.
Yeah.
And then when you get into the Z series, and they start off kind of, it feels like they're kind of at the same level, and then just Goku like skyrockets past him, and it's like, Piccolo is a very good character, and like always kind of right there, but always being overshadowed by Goku just keeps achieving new forms and stuff. So it is nice with this movie that they finally focus on him again, and and give him his due essentially.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, no, I agree with everything you said. Yeah, because I felt like it's been a while since. Like, I'm a very casual Dragon Ball fan, but even I could like recognize. I'm like, no, it's been a while since you've given Piccolo the spotlight. I'm like, so I'm glad you did that. And that's another thing too, going off what you said about the Red Ribbon Army, is that I really like the fact that this film kind of like connects all the way back to the OG Dragon Ball and not just Z. It's like, no, we're gonna take you all the way back to like the first series and like kind of bring it back to like the latest chapter in the story, which is super. So I thought that was really interesting because I'm a very casual Dragon Ball fan, so I don't really know a lot about Dragon Ball, the original Dragon Ball, but like I knew about the Red Army because about Dragon Ball Z with Dr. Gero and Cell and the other androids that we see in that series. So,
what was interesting when they were doing that like recap kind of thing, and they were explaining like the family line and stuff like that.
Yeah.
One of the images that they showed as like one of Gero's sons, I think.
Yeah.
And I watched it twice, and like it just goes by so fast, and I kept forgetting to pause it. But I'm pretty sure it was Android 16.
It was.
And I thought that was so cool.
Yeah, and they show Android 21 also from Dragon Ball FighterZ as his wife.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, oh shit, Android 21, because she's in Dragon Ball FighterZ. She's like, I think the main villain in that game.
Yeah.
And a lot of people were kind of guessing like, so like what is her connection really? So I think they at first they didn't make it canon that she was Dr. Gero's wife, but now in the movie, yeah, it's canon.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah, 16 being a Sun canon as well.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, which also is interesting to me because like they show a family tree in one scene because one of the characters, Dr. Hato, is the grandson of Dr. Gero.
Yeah.
So like they kind of show the family tree of it, and when they do that, they show that Android 16 had either a son or a daughter, and that's how they had. Or no, wait, that's not how it worked. But Android 16 would be the dad basically of Dr.
Yeah.
Hato.
Yeah.
But we never find out who he married.
Who's mom?
Who the mother is. We never find that out. So Dr. Hatos is an orphan in this movie.
And we don't really know what happened to him, like because like did he volunteer to be turned into Android 16, or was there some kind of accident and he died, and then his dad revived him as Android 16?
Yeah. I go off what Dragon Ball Z Abridged did for 16, where they made up that backstory for him. I go off of that. That's my headcanon.
I haven't seen that one, so.
Oh, you haven't? Oh, okay. Yeah. In the Abridged series, they actually make up a backstory for 16.
Oh, okay.
And what happened in that series is that they made it where Android 16, as a human, was working for the Red Ribbon Army. But then he died when Goku attacked during like the original Dragon Ball, like when he went on Red Ribbon Army. Like you even hear like a little small Goku in the background going like "Hame, Hame," and then fire it off. So like it kind of gives you the reference, like, oh, okay, so that kind of makes sense why Dr. Gero would want revenge on Goku because he killed his son. Yeah. So like it's a cool backstory. It's not canon at all, but that's just my head canon of like what actually happened to him. But moving on from that.
Yeah.
Moving on from that. Back in the Red Ribbon Army, we have I forget the other villain's name, but he is also the son of the original leader.
Magenta.
Yeah, Magenta. He is the son of the former leader of the Red Ribbon Army, who I don't know.
General Red.
There you go, General Red. He is the son of General Red, and so
they changed the name to be more public facing and changed it into Red Pharmaceutical Company or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
to
they explained that.
Cover up their true intention, which is
the Red Ribbon Army still continuing, because I think the Red Ribbon Army in that world is still looked at very negatively for what they've done in the past. So they're like, let's hide that. Because Dr. Hato like immediately knows, he's like, you guys are covering that up, aren't you? Yeah, because like it's funny, but like interesting thing about Magenta, I don't know if you noticed this, but he's in the dub. He's actually voiced by the voice actor for Mario.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until somebody told me. I'm like, oh, okay. I couldn't even tell because he does. Well, of course, he changed his voice to fit the character, but
And I like how he keeps doing everything to make it look like he's bigger than he is.
That is true. Yeah. Yeah, it is true. Because, Magenta is very short, which I think is also something that his father was as well. I think his father. Yeah, Leader Red had to be, like, pretty short, too. But, we're going to go off of this. But, yeah, of course, with Dr. Hato being the grandson of Dr. Gero, that, of course, means we lead into androids, and we get introduced to two new androids in this movie by the names of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. Mm-hmm. And what did you think of Gamma 1 and Gamma 2? Because I freaking love these characters.
Yeah, they were great, and I love the first fight with Piccolo, and he's like,
"Yes,
why can I see his special effects?"
Oh, I love that one. He's like, "Why can I see those words, those onomatopoeias that keep showing up?" Because it's like a classic comic book thing. Because Gamma 2 like takes the role of superhero very seriously. So like he literally creates like holograms of onomatopoeias whenever he attacks Piccolo in the first fight.
Yeah, and there's a point later on where both Gammas are in the background, and Gamma 2 is like striking poses, and he's trying to get like stuff to pop up behind him, and like Gamma 1's kind of like acting like he's being annoyed by him. But like I said, it's in the background, so it's kind of easy to miss if you're focused on what's what the camera's focused on, but
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
I was looking at them the entire time like during the dialogue. I was just looking at them because they were just so entertaining. Because I kind of love the dynamic where they kind of like make it out like it's a sibling relationship, where like Gamma 1 is older brother and Gamma 2 is younger, more like I don't know, energetic younger sibling. So like I kind of like that dynamic they kind of had with it. But yeah, speaking of Piccolo, the movie kind of starts off with him training what's her name? Pan?
3-year-old Pan.
3-year-old Pan, yeah. And I freaking think that's adorable. Piccolo still being the kind of surrogate dad / grandpa for Pan. And I love how like when she goes to attack, he like freaking decks her back into the rock, and he's like, "You okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm good. Let's go." Like she's just so ready for it. She's just saying, so of course she could take damage like a champ. So it's just hilarious to me. But I really love that kind of like mentor relationship with them because I think it's absolutely adorable. Because it's like so funny to see like you think about the OG Dragon Ball and how much of a ruthless villain Piccolo was back then. Yeah. To see him transition all the way into like this very soft-spoken and very kind of like calm and loving kind of figure to not only Gohan but to his daughter as well.
Yeah. Well, and it was that it was his time with Gohan that actually caused him to make that change.
Yeah,
because even like when him and Goku teamed up to fight Raditz, he was still like, wanting to kill Goku.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, they weren't friends. It was like we hate each other, but we hate this guy more.
But Goku's sacrifice, like, kind of flipped the first switch for him, and and so he took it upon himself to train, Goku's son just in case Goku didn't come back.
Mm-hmm.
And which I mean, he knew that Goku would because of the Dragon Balls and everything, but it's like, I'm going to train him to be, just as good of a fighter and stuff like that. So, but it was great to open with that, to see him back in that training position again.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that too. Because like, again, it's just adorable seeing Piccolo take care of 3-year-old Pan, which it progresses even more throughout the movie because it's even more adorable. Because what is it? Like Piccolo is just kind of chilling in his house, which actually has a home now. Piccolo never really had a house before, so now he has his own place.
Yeah, well, and he's not even in his house. He's like meditating while levitating a huge section of a mountaintop, and then he does have a house nearby, and he gets a call, and he's got a cell phone. Armor on it that's like a plushy character from their world.
Yeah, from like some show or something.
Yeah, and the way that he holds the phones, it's like
it's like this. He like holds it like this, like hello. He's like holding it with just 2 fingers, and it's like Videl calling him, and she's like, "Yeah, could you go pick up Pan?" And he's like, "How come Gohan can't do it?" "Oh, he's really busy right now." He's like, "Ah." So he's like. And she's like, "Don't worry, I could buy you another plushie." He's like, "No, I don't want any more. There's too many." And then it cuts to like this whole freaking display of like these various plushies that Videl has been giving Piccolo this entire time. Again, just like developing the relationship, that kind of like father relationship with him even more. And so then Piccolo goes to Gohan, and we have our first scene with Gohan, and he's just being a huge nerd. It's like doing some research on some freaking bugs or some shit. And I'm like, really, dude?
Yeah, he's doing exactly what his mom wanted him to do, which was to be studious and everything, which destroyed his eyes.
Apparently.
But he's fascinated with this rare species of ants that apparently when they go to defend their colony, they develop a glow, kind of like Super Saiyan form. And so he calls them Super Saiyans, which pisses Piccolo off.
Yeah, Piccolo's having none of it. He's like, "You should be training, damn it. You should be training. You can be the strongest warrior on the planet. But no, You want to take your time googling ants or something.
And then he puts him back in his original training gi.
Yeah, and freaking Gohan's like having trouble holding it up. He's like, "Oh God, wait, this is too heavy." He's like, when you were a kid, you could have handled that fine." So
Oh,
like
excuse me.
again, just kind of like going off of that, like that again, really fun dynamic between the two of them. I freaking love just the character relationships they have in this movie. I think they're just so
Yeah.
fun. But yeah, after that we kind of cut away to
We get introduced to the Magenta and his crony,
I forget his name.
Carmine or something like that.
I think you know what? Yeah, you're right, Carmine. Yeah.
And which is hilarious because
Yeah, it's like
he has credits for all of his presentations.
oh, that's right. Like Carmine Productions presents, and Magenta's is like, really? Like looking at him like, did you seriously have to add that? Carmine's
even-
like, well,
And even later on, when they're in their base and they're looking at like video footage or doing something, like there's all these credits and it's Carmine for like producer, director, writer.
yeah.
So
But yeah, but like yeah, we cut to them and they're having like this whole presentation kind of talking about how the Capsule Corp Corporation is an evil organization that hides the proof of aliens and stuff like that. And they're kind of
that's the excuse that they come up with to recruit Dr. Hedo.
yeah, because Dr. Hato, he at the beginning of the movie, he immediately gets out of jail for something. I forget what he would do for like theft.
He took 3 recent corpses, turned them into androids, and had them run a gas station. And so
I forgot about that. Yeah, so they put him in jail, and so as soon as he gets out, Magenta and Carmine literally pick him up. Which, by the way, I love the car that they have because not Magenta. Carmine has like this very tall, like
Pompadour.
Pompadour kind of hairstyle, and so the car they're driving literally has like this hole or it's like bubble for just his hair. And Dr. Hato was like, well, Magenta's like, oh, because Dr. Hato says something like on the like saying like, oh, I know it was you guys. And Magenta's like, how would you know? And he's like, well, how many cars have a bubble on top of them?
I like how he's leaving prison and he pulls a grenade out of his stuff that he's walking out of prison with. He pulls a grenade out and throws it back into the prison.
Yeah, because the prisoners are like making fun of him and like throwing stuff at him, so he just throws a grenade back. So I would have found it funny if like a cop pulled up and went, "Get back in there, get back inside." Just like, really, dude, you just got out, get back in. Yeah, but that's like perfect, like kind of Dragon Ball comedy right there. But like, yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, and the way that they bribe him to get into the car, because he looks like he's a kid.
Yeah,
but he's in his mid-20s.
Yeah.
So, but they bribe him with like a sugary drink and Oreos, and they look like they were either like Mega Stuff Oreos too. They weren't.
No, they are. There are a shit ton of Oreos in this movie.
Yeah,
like every scene with Dr. Hato has Oreos involved with it.
That's all he eats is Oreos.
That's all he eats. Like as soon as he's done with one plate, like there's a scene later on in the movie where as soon as he's done with one plate, one of the robots literally some like droid or something like that pulls up with another plate of Oreos, and it's just like, what the? Do you have anything else to eat? Like, are you just gonna eat Oreos the entire movie, dude? Like, come on.
And every time he sees them, he's all excited. Like
he's
it's
like,
the first time seeing him in a long time.
And it was like funny. I love this like little detail where like he takes one of them apart and he like uses the other half to like kind of like move the sugar and just eat that part. Because like that's almost everybody. That's like what everybody does with Oreo. But yeah, back on the plot though, Magenta and Carmine kind of like take on Hato, kind of like asking him if he can help create some like androids for them and stuff like that, kind of like help them build an army. Because of course he's Dr. Crow's grandson, so of course he should have some like familiarity with technology.
Yeah.
And they kind of feed him the storyline that the Capsule Corp Corporation is like evil and stuff like that, and that Bulma's a mastermind, and that everybody associated with it is evil as well. So you immediately know that Dr. Hato is not a bad guy because he's just being led wrong by Magenta and Carmine, who are like the real antagonists of the movie. Plus another one, but we'll get to him pretty soon. another secret character. We'll get to that. But yeah, so Dr. Hato goes along with it, and that's when he creates Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. And the interesting thing with Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 is that they also kind of feed into the lie that they're the good guys and they're fighting the bad guys, which goes into that whole first fight between Piccolo and Gamma 1, where Gamma 1 is kind of calling him King Piccolo because
Gamma
they, yeah, Gamma, oh, did I say Gamma 1?
Yeah.
My bad. Gamma 2.
Get it right, man.
Yeah, I know, get it right. Yeah, Gamma 2 is calling him like King Piccolo and stuff like that, and Piccolo's just like, that's not me. Well, that was old me, and I'm the new me. And Gamma 2 is just like, what? He's like, I don't understand. He's like, but it doesn't matter because Gamma 2 just simply starts the first fight between them. Gamma 2 is like handing Piccolo his ass to him like, throughout most of the fight. Like, it's ridiculous. Which makes sense though, because like most of the androids in the series are pretty, like they're pretty good fighters and they're pretty powerful.
Yeah, even 17 and 18, like.
Oh yeah, freaking.
Pretty much treated him like he was nothing.
They took down like Super Saiyan Vegeta like he was nothing. They took down the rest of the crew like they were nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, they're powerful. So the same goes for like Gamma 1 and Gamma 2. But yeah, after that whole fight though. Like, yeah, but what did you like think of that first fight between Piccolo and Gamma 2?
I thought it was pretty cool. I was like, when I first saw his energy blast, I was like, that looks kind of weird. And, 'cause not like in a bad way or anything. I mean, it wasn't like what I was expecting from an energy blast. And then you see that it's coming from him and it's like, oh, okay, that makes a little bit more sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like from his blaster, really.
Yeah, because it becomes like it had a face.
Yeah,
it looked like it had a face. So
no, yeah, I think it did. Yeah, Gamma 2 and Gamma 1 both have like these like little laser guns.
Yeah,
that just fire off huge blasts.
But yeah, it was a cool fight. Very short, but. What was interesting about it was the overconfidence that Gamma 2 had with it. Like, it didn't even occur to him that Piccolo could have survived the blast and like been right behind him.
Yeah, exactly. Which does end up happening because Piccolo literally follows Gamma 2 back to the base.
Yeah,
and Piccolo like, which I think is actually a really cool detail where like Piccolo flies through this like kind of like invisible barrier or something like that, and it shows because like. On the surface, it just looks like some like regular.
Looks like a lake.
Yeah, but then as soon as Piccolo flies through it, it's like boom, Red Ribbon Army base.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, so we don't really get to see the overhead view. He's flying in low to try and keep undetected. And so he comes up over a ledge and he sees like the red pharmaceutical company like front, and then he sees where Gamma 2 is going in, so he quickly goes over there to follow him in, and he just disappears down the hallway. He's like, that's weird. So he knocks out a guy, steals his uniform, and he walks down the hallway too, and that's where we get the big reveal of the full base. It's not until he finds out everything that's going on and takes off to kind of prepare for the next step that we get to see like the overhead view and how they're like hiding themselves. So and that like both of those instances where he's traveling through this like hologram is really cool.
Yeah, but speaking of Piccolo like kind of taking on like that the skies, I thought that was actually a really fun detail, like a really little fun side plot where Piccolo kind of does like an espionage kind of mission.
Yeah,
because I think that's just hilarious. Because like they kind of have fun with it. Because like there's a scene later on where Piccolo's trying to make a call to a Bulma and trying to like tell her the situation, and there's like another guard that like walks by and he's like this, hey, and Piccolo's like, oh, so, and he goes back to the phone. And there's another one later on. Where Piccolo is kind of like in like the main meeting area of the base. So you have Magenta, Carmine, the two Gammas, and Dr. Hato kind of discussing like what the next plan of what they should do next. And I think they like discuss how like they should take out Goku and Vegeta because they're kind of like the strongest fighters that they have.
Yeah.
Again, hit on that they're the villains. And or wait, no, they also mentioned Gohan. Also, I believe is like
After,
another.
well, they're talking about Goku and Vegeta, but they're like, we don't know where they're at.
Yeah, that's right.
So for now, we'll go after Gohan.
Yeah, because apparently they think that he would be the strongest like opponent for them at the moment, like after Goku.
Because they bring up the fact that he landed the killing blow on Cell.
Yes, that's right.
So,
yeah, like yeah, but you're right. And so they come up with this plan, kind of going like, all right, how can we like get Gohan to come here, and so one of the Gammas can take him out. So they're like, oh, well, we get Piccolo like takes like charge, and he's kind of just like, oh, I know where his daughter is.
well, so kind of fill that in a little bit more. So they, again, they're you know, like you said, they're planning to go after Gohan, but because they don't know where Goku and Vegeta are, they don't want to draw their attention.
Yeah.
So that's where they come up with the idea of, well, why don't we bring Gohan here? How can we do that? Because, like, you know, we don't even know where he's at. And then one of the Carmine or whatever is like, well, our research says that he's got a daughter that's in preschool and she's getting out soon. So we can send a couple of our guys to get her. And that's where Piccolo jumps in.
Yeah, Piccolo, yeah. Again, sorry if I'm getting stuff mixed up because I saw this I think last weekend.
Oh, yeah, I watched it yesterday and today. So
okay, that makes sense. That makes more sense than what you're more aware of because I had literally watched it last weekend. Because I just watched it just to watch it to get out of the way because I knew that during the week it was probably going to get busy for me. So I was like, I'm going to just watch it so I don't have to worry about it. So if I get a little sorry if I'm getting details mixed up and stuff like that.
That's all right.
But no, you're right. Like everything's coming back now because they mentioned that Carmine, since he is very tech savvy and kind of like Magenta's right hand man, does some more info dump on Gohan, and they find out that Pan goes to school and she goes out around, I don't know, they said 3 o'clock or something like that, around
1 p.m.
1 p.m. around some time of the day. And so Piccolo, of course, being the one who picks her up most of the time, knows all the details about when she gets when she leaves and stuff like that. So then he kind of takes charge. He's like, oh, I can go get her. And so him and another one of their henchmen was this big buff dude, which is a very funny scene that happens with him later on when they meet up again. But they decided to go and pick her up. And before we continue on with this storyline, let's transition from what's happening on Earth to what's happening with Goku and Vegeta, because there's some interesting stuff that happens with them.
Yeah.
Because we get some pretty interesting characters, which one of them is on your shirt. Broly is there with them, kind of watching them train, which is awesome. I love freaking Broly being there.
Well, and what's funny is when they first start showing it, Broly and Goku are sparring, and Broly's on the verge of going crazy Saiyan.
Yeah, he's about to go.
And Goku's like, "Oh, wait, stop.
Wait!" He's like, "Broly!"
And they're practicing on Barris's planet.
Yeah,
so that makes it even more entertaining.
Exactly, because which is hilarious. Because again, watching Broly, you know that if he snaps, you're like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah,
because he can be a really. I mean, it's fine, really. I mean, all the Goku and Vegeta would have to do is just go Gogeta again and just take him down like they did last time.
Yeah.
But also Beerus is there too, which I feel like Beerus can handle Broly easily. Which I feel like
even he's freaked out.
Oh yeah. Speaking of Beerus, well, Whis is there too. Whis is kind of like watching over them train. Yeah. And Beerus shows up and he's like, what's all the racket? And then
Whis is smell.
What's that smell? And he's like, who the hell is that guy? And Whis is like, oh, that's Beerus. I mean, that's Broly. Broly. He's like, what is he doing on my planet? Because even he knows the amount of destruction Broly can cause. He's like, get him off. But it's very funny. And then We have Lemo and Chile from the Broly film actually show up as well, which is also really cool because I really like them. I thought they were really cool side characters, so it's nice to see them come back in. And Lemo's kind of like the chef on the planet, so he's kind of making food, and he kind of makes food for Beerus, and Beerus finds his food delicious. And Chile comes in like this huge bag, which apparently she's robbing Beerus.
Yeah.
Which is even funnier. It's just like she was like, "Oh man, he has a lot of stuff," and she says it right in front of Beerus, right in front of Lemo, and Beerus, and Lemo's just like, "She like, stop it, he's right there." And we come to like one of the funniest scenes in the movie where like Beerus is kind of just like, "Who are you, woman?" And she like kind of like does this cute kawaii face to Beerus, and Beerus is just like, I like this one.
after he does a full body shiver.
Yep. That's right. Yeah, his ears perk up first, and his mouth just goes. Oh. And you see
you
his
feel
body,
like this shiver all the way through.
And then he just says, I like this one. You're more than welcome to stay on my planet.
And then Reese makes a comment about Beerus having a type, and he's like, but you never know it. Or, you know.
Yeah. Which even Goku is in the background kind of going like, what? Because he kind of, like almost everybody knows,
like,
except.
What the heck happened?
Yeah, the only people who don't really react are Broly and Vegeta, who is meditating at the moment right now.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is very interesting, actually. They kind of go into depth about why he's doing it, because Goku's just like, why are you meditating? And Vegeta's like, I'm doing what Jiren did when we fought him. Because he said that Jiren wasn't really like on the same level as us, really, but he had but his meditation kind of helped him utilize his strength more and not just kind of waste it like we were doing.
Yeah.
It kind of goes into that.
Yeah, they were talking like, as far as power level goes, they were the same, but because of his focus and his determination, it elevated his power level to the next level.
Yeah, exactly.
And, so, you know, Vegeta, who's the biggest hothead out of the entire group.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, you know, I realize I need to work on that if I'm going to, you know, get to the next level myself. Yeah. Which Whis, you know, as he's in the middle of explaining that, Whis comes up and he starts clapping. He's like, yes, you got it. Like, unlike Goku.
Yeah, unlike Goku, which is so weird because Goku actually has meditated and he's meditated before. So it's just like, it's kind of just like interesting that it's kind of like weird that he's the one kind of judging Vegeta for meditating when honestly it should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, but again, actually, it makes for some cool development with Vegeta because, like, again, being the high of the group, you wouldn't expect him to be doing this. So it's a really cool character moment where you just see him, like, acting all calm and, like, just...
Like Piccolo. I mean, he's essentially training like how Piccolo does.
Yeah, exactly, which is awesome. I really love that detail, really. Because, like, again, development with how long we've, like, stuck with Vegeta, it's, like, a really cool, like, moment for that. It's like, oh, wow. Like, yeah, he's progressing, or he's still progressing. He's still changing, which is awesome. But yeah, then we get the whole Goku and Vegeta kind of sparring match, which is actually really cool. And Vegeta actually hands it to Goku throughout most of that fight, which I think is because of that meditation. That is actually really helping out.
And before they spar, Whis was like proposing that they have a three-way sparring match.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, well, if Broly loses it, that's it. So they were like, okay, Broly, you're going to sit this one out, but I want you to watch intently and learn how two powerhouses can spar without destroying everything. And so he challenges them to fight each other without transforming, without basically any energy attacks. And yeah, so it's literally just a true martial arts fight, but at full, you know, as high strength as they can get without transforming.
Yeah, which I think is... honestly, I think I kind of prefer that a little more than just them transforming and them using beams all the damn time. Because I'm like, I want to see them actually like go at it. Stop with the freaking beams. I freaking hate it. It's the same thing with Godzilla movies. It's just like beam, beam, beam. I'm like, fight! Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But
But
also I find it like really cool to see Broly kind of just like accepting it. He's like, no, I understand. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I need to learn to be better. So he's just like sitting there, but he's like very intently like watching them. Like he's not saying anything. He's just sitting there very still, and you just see his eyes kind of like darting around, watching Vegeta and Goku go
and
at it.
one of the funny moments is during the little bit that we get to see of the fight is they knock each other into the water, and it causes a
All
huge
right.
downpour. And just before the water like hits everybody, Barris puts up a bubble over him, Whis, uh,
And
Lemo,
she like,
and Chile. Uh, Unfortunately, Broly's too far out, so he gets soaked. And Whis
yeah.
is like, interesting. You've never
He's like,
done
well,
this
nice
before.
of you. Yeah. Well, that was very nice of you. Is there somebody you like? And Beerus, of course, is like, shut up. Because like they like grab ice cream. And that also adds another development to the plot where they when they were eating ice cream, I think one of them like threw the empty tub on top of Whis' like little staff thing.
Yeah,
So when you have when Piccolo like like Piccolo asked Bulma to like call for help, basically when he finds Red
yeah,
Ribbon Army, they can't do it. They're kind of on their own because they're too busy eating ice cream.
yeah.
So it's like
And distracted.
yeah, it's like damn it. I mean, not damn it, because it's cool. So we can have Gohan and Piccolo take care of stuff. But yeah, back onto the main storyline. Piccolo and the other buff dude grab Pan, which leads to a very comedic scene where the buff dude kind of goes in first, and he's like, "Hi, Pan. Your mom wanted me to pick you up. Here, come with us." And Pan literally like freaking
Knocks him
head
out.
in the chest. And he just immediately falls back, and she's like, "I don't know that man." And then immediately Piccolo runs in, and she's like, "Oh, hi, Piccolo."
Yeah,
Wait, you can read my. Wait, you know it was me? She's like, "Yeah, I can read your power level, or I can sense you."
yeah.
Yeah,
Which
which
comes
is
into
like,
play later.
I'm about to say that was another funny thing later. And I love that small detail where Piccolo literally calls the teacher Janet by her like first name, which
Yeah.
again lets us know how many times Piccolo has picked Pan up from school, which
Yep.
again I think is just funny and hilarious. So then Piccolo tells Pan about the whole plan and stuff like that about what they need to do, and they go back to the Red Ribbon Army, and that's when
And he puts handcuffs on her, but tells her whenever she needs to, she could break out of them.
oh yeah, no, yeah. They're like, she's just like he kind of makes it out like a game almost to her. Like she almost
Yeah,
thinks of it as a game. So she's like not really in any danger. She just thinks it's fun.
yeah.
Yeah, but eventually Piccolo and the other guy they go to Gohan's house, and again it's like a very funny detail where like the guy's about to knock on the door, but Piccolo's is like, no, you won't knock on the door. You gotta go over here. And he does like this whole like glass like
He scratches the glass, which is what he
yeah,
did at the beginning when he went to talk to
yeah,
Gohan.
another little cool detail. And Gohan like goes back, and Gohan's not really taking the situation seriously. Even when the guy like points a gun at Gohan, he just like flicks it away. Again, showing how like powerful Gohan actually is.
Yeah,
But then they have this video recording of Pan acting all scared, which really she isn't in real life, but it's enough to make Gohan snap and
and go Super Saiyan.
go Super Saiyan. Which what did you think of that moment? I thought that moment was awesome. Just seeing Gohan lose it again, just like worship.
Yeah,
Like, oh shit.
yeah. I was half expecting the guy to get blasted in half or something like that.
Oh yeah, the freaking some bones getting broken or
And
something.
what makes it even better is he doesn't realize that it's Piccolo next to him.
Oh yes, I forgot to mention that. That's why that comes into play later because Pan knew immediately that was Piccolo, but Gohan because he's out of practice and has been training, did not know it was Piccolo until like way later in the final battle.
Until Piccolo revealed himself.
Yeah, and he's like, Piccolo, you're here. It's like
He's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
you failed. Yeah, but they take Gohan like threatens the guy and they take him back. They go back to Red Ribbon Army, and then we have, I think, honestly, this is probably my favorite fight in the movie. We have Gohan versus Gamma One.
Yep.
So, what did you think of that fight? I just said it's my favorite fight in the movie. I thought that fight was just incredible.
Yeah, yeah, it was really well done. The back and forth and everything. Gohan, trying to like get information and stuff like that, while defending himself. And um, yeah, it was really enjoyed it. A lot of fun.
I kind of also am like in love with the fighting style that Gamma One kind of has because it's kind of like robotic, where he kind of like goes for like joints and like very like tender areas when he's fighting Gohan.
Yeah.
So there's like a moment where like he kind of like hits him in the back with a knee, and then he like chops him in the neck at like right after that. And I thought it was like an awesome combo.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fight progresses. It's happened in Rain too, which again looks incredible. But again, the 3D animation like is actually coming to full fruition with this fight. And it just progresses and progresses, and then eventually Piccolo makes his way up to like the top of like the base or whatever, or the top of like the Red Ribbon Tower where Pon's being held. And she's watching the whole fight, by the way. She's watching the whole fight between Gamma One and her dad. And Piccolo is just like, oh, great, Gohan's not really doing that well. He hasn't really awakened yet. So he's like, okay, Pan, I have an idea. So literally it's so cute. Literally what he does is he just kind of like gently picks her up and holds her like this, but he's not even holding her. His hand is like right in front of her, and she's just screaming and acting like he's hurting her.
Tells her to pretend that she's in pain.
Yeah, and so he does that, and Gohan reacts, but also Gamma 2 reacts, and he's like, wait, good guys don't hurt kids. And that kind of like triggers something with Pan and Piccolo. They're like, huh? So that kind of like that immediately kind of gives Piccolo the idea like, okay, these guys aren't really bad. They're just kind of giving the wrong idea of the situation. Yeah. But freaking Gohan doesn't know that and just goes freaking Super Saiyan, and just that scene where he literally explodes like the invisible barrier over the thing, literally shatters it with just his transformation. Yeah. And that's when he just starts.
Because he goes into his special mode that he got during the Buu saga.
It's Ultimate Gohan, right? Isn't that what it's called?
I think so.
I think it's Ultimate Gohan, yeah.
Because it was like it was beyond Super Saiyan, but his hair goes back to black. But he's still like super powered up, and it was because of like a boost that he got from the Kamis during the Buu saga.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Yeah, but he goes full Ultimate Gohan and just starts doing a lot better in the fight with Gamma 1. Like he's actually like doing some real damage to Gamma 1 now, finally. after Gamma 1 was like kicking his ass throughout most of the fight. And so that's when kind of Piccolo jumps in as well.
No, and first they tell Gamma 2 to jump in and join the fight.
No. Oh yeah, Gamma 2, that's right, yeah.
And so as he's getting ready to fly down and join, Gamma 1 to fight Gohan, that's when Piccolo's like, all right, I got to step in now. So he takes off the helmet and throws it, reveals himself.
Yeah, and that's what Gohan's just like, Piccolo, you're here too? It's like, oh my God, you idiot. But, yeah, Piccolo is actually doing really well against Gamma 2. He actually starts holding his own, which we forgot to go into that detail. But in the middle section of the movie, Piccolo asks Bulma if she can like gather the Dragon Balls up because he has to make a wish.
Well, before that, so this section we're about to talk about happens before they go to kidnap Pan.
Yeah, this is a general discussion, guys. So don't worry about the order. This is just general discussion.
So Piccolo, he knows that like there's going to be a big fight, so they need senzu beans. So he first goes to Kirin to get the senzu beans, but he only has 2. So he's like, all right, I'll take it and go from there. So then he goes up to Dende, and he's like, hey, like you're the same kind of Namek as the Grand Master from Planet Namek. Can you like give me a boost like how he did for Gohan and Krillin? And he's like, I haven't reached the proper age to do that yet, but I should be able to alter the dragon to do that for you. And he's like,
he's like, you can do that? He's like, yeah. So he just kind of like pours some like water on the dragon, and that kind of like upgrades it or upgrades Run.
And so then he's like, all right, well now I got to get the Dragon Balls, and that's when Dende's like, well, Bulma's actually been doing a pretty good job of keeping them to keep them out of like evildoers' hands. So he calls her. And she's like, "Yeah, I've got them all." And he's like, "All right, I'm coming to make a wish. Get it ready."
Yeah.
And when Shenlong comes out, he's like, "Hey, can you do the same thing that the Grandmaster did?" He's like, "Yeah, of course." So he unlocks his hidden potential and then some.
Yeah.
And then
Also, extra.
and then he's like, "What's your next wish?" And Piccolo's like, "Well, that's all I needed." And
Yeah.
Bulma's like,
"Oh, I can do the wishes now?" And he's like, "Yeah, sure, go ahead." And she's like, "Okay, I want my buns perked. They're like college age." And yeah, because like Bulma's just been using the Dragon Balls like
for cosmetic surgery.
Yeah, just for that. And Piccolo is just like, "What the? You've been using this divine power for that?" And he even makes a comment. He's like, "You could have done squats for a month."
Well, that's after she makes her two wishes, which the first one's to perk up her butt. The other one is to add 2 millimeters to her eyelashes. And then
just imagine what's going through Shenron's mind at this point. He's just like, "Oh my god."
And that's the thing. He even shows like annoyance with Bulma's wishes. He's like,
"Is that it? Is that all? You've asked for my divine power, and this is what you asked for?"
And then after Shenron leaves, Bulma's like, "Oh crap, we could have wished for Goku and Vegeta to be brought."
I remember that. Oh my god!
And that's when Piccolo's like, "You could have done squats for a month."
Exactly. I got annoyed at that too. I'm like, "What the fuck? You could have done that, you idiot! You could have solved that easily." But I guess buns being perked was more important than that. Freaking dumb, dude. Yeah, but also another small detail I really like is like when Shenron comes out at first, he's like at the beginning to do the whole speech, and then immediately he's like, "Oh, it's you, Piccolo. What do you?"
Kind of like excited to see Piccolo too.
Yeah, he's like, "Oh, Piccolo, it's you. What can I help you with?"
So now we go back to the fight. So Piccolo and Gamma 2 are going back and forth. Yeah. And
awesome fight, by the way. I love their second round. It's really cool. It's like now they're like flying through the air and they're kind of like going at it and stuff like that. And there's like one moment where like Piccolo uses his telekinesis to like grab some of the rubble and just form it into like a giant ball and like throws it at Gamma 2, but Gamma 2 immediately just like shoots it.
Yeah. But Gamma 2 quickly, even with like Piccolo's power up, Gamma 2 starts getting the advantage on him again.
Yeah. And it's happening because Gamma 2 is kind of getting annoyed and angry with Piccolo because Piccolo is trying to tell him like, "No, you have it all wrong. You guys are under the bad guys. They're tricking you." And Gamma 2 is like, "No," and just starts pounding him and eventually just like hammers Piccolo down and
sends him flying down like this pit.
Yeah.
And then we get the next like really awesome scene.
Yep, and that's when we get the intro to Orange Piccolo, which is like this very kind of like bulky, square. Freaking Piccolo's huge now, by the way.
Yeah.
Like he's not like a monster size. Well,
he's like a step down from Broly.
Yeah, basically. But he's like freaking huge. Yeah. And nothing Gamma 2 does anything to him. Like Gamma 2 like does like a flurry of punches and Piccolo just goes
and he's just standing there while Gamma's like unleashing him, and then pulls back and decks him.
Yep, just decks him, and that's when the Red Army is just like, "Shoot him down!" And the bullets are just bouncing off of Piccolo.
Yeah.
And so Magenta and Carmine are like, "Okay, I think we're gonna head out of here. I think we're gonna leave."
Well, they try to leave.
Pan shows up, I believe, or Pan stops them.
Yeah, Pan gets in the way. Magenta takes off. Carmine starts shooting at her, and which pisses her off. And I think
Gamma 2 shows up.
Yeah, Gamma 2's like, "What are you doing?" And then Pan beats him up. Carmine.
Yeah. Yeah, because Carmine's shooting at her, but then Carmine's gun gets knocked out of his hand because Gamma 2 grabbed his own little laser gun and shot the gun out of it. And he's just like, now Gamma 2's on their side. Like Gamma 2's like seen full well like what Carmine and Magenta have been up to. So he's just like, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm with these guys now."
Yeah.
So then Pan knocks him out, and that's when Piccolo's is like, "All right, go on, that's enough." And you have like like kind of struggle between him and Gambit 1. And they're like, oh, are they cool now? And Pickles is like, yeah, they're good. They're fine.
Yeah.
So a little cool moment. But then Magenta goes down to the sub level of the base where he is going to awaken Cellmax.
Yeah.
Which is like basically this giant kaiju form of
Cell.
Cell's second imperfect cell. No, wait. Semi-perfect cell. My bad. Semi-perfect cell. It's semi-perfect cell, but he's basically a giant kaiju, and he's like red and green. So,
and instead of his tail being like a needle, it's
it's like a club, like a bunch of holes.
Club.
Yeah, so he's gonna awaken Cellmax, but then Dr. Hato tries to go down there and stop him, and
which is another fun interaction.
Yeah, and Magenta just like shoots him. But then Dr. Hato just gets back up and he's like, my body can withstand that amount of pain. Because he mentions earlier in the movie that his skin is like made to withstand a lot of pain, a lot of like damage. Impact, and somebody else is like, oh, you're the only one who went through
augmentations. So he hangs up his jacket and shirt because he's in.
Which is so funny to me. He just like properly hangs them up. He doesn't like just rip them off. He just goes.
And then it reveals that he's got like this metal skin on that's like a think of Jax from Mortal Kombat. Like,
yeah, he just starts
his
flexing.
bio arms. Yeah.
Then he's like, yeah.
But then so then he's getting ready to pound on Dr. Hato, and Dr. Hato's like, yeah, about that. My little friend's gonna take you out. And so at the beginning of the movie, he introduces this bee that he had turned into an android bee that has like the deadliest poison that can kill even like anything organic.
Mm-hmm.
And so the bee flies in and stings Magenta in the neck, which activates the poison. He starts poisoning him and everything. And so Dr. Hato's like, yeah, I win. But in Magenta's last dying breath, he punches the council that activates Cellmax.
Yeah, and Cellmax just wakes up and just bursts.
To his credit, Dr. Hato tries to do everything he can to like.
Yeah, Dr. Hato, yeah, no, you're right. Dr. Hato does try to stop it, but it's already too late. Like Magenta already did enough damage to the control panel that it's Cellmax just wakes up and just freaking bursts out of his thing. But back on the top,
everybody's just talking.
Yeah, some more. The characters is chilling out, but then we also have more characters that show up. We have Bulma shows up along with Krillin, Trunks, Goten, and Android 18. They all show up and they just start chilling out because Piccolo, when he was leaving after he met the Wizard's Dragon, talked about the mentioned Red Ribbon Army, and so Bulma was like, "Oh, I guess I better bring some backup then." So then she gathered the strongest people that she knew at the moment, and so she I don't know why she brought Krillin, but she gathers all of them and she brings them in here, and both Piccolo's is like, we're good, we got it handled. Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are cool, they're on our side. So they all start chilling out and start talking and gabbing, and Gohan is just like, everybody see my glasses? I kind of throw them away, and Piccolo's just like, wait, does the Super Saiyan form fix your eyesight? Like, wait. Yeah. So it's a very funny moment, but at the same time, this is all happening. Like, I love I love like the transition between this, where you have these characters kind of relaxing and just kind of chilling out with each other, thinking everything's okay and the battle's done. While underneath, you have Dr. Hato freaking the hell out because Cellmax is waking up and he just bursts out of there. Yep. And Cellmax eventually makes it up to the top because Dr. Hato bursts out as well, and he's like, "Run! Cellmax is awake!" And Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 are like, "Oh shit!" And so freaking Cellmax bursts out and he's roaring and everything, and he's like ready to fight. And even I love that little moment too where Android 18 is kind of like taken aback by it. Like, she gets some serious PTSD from seeing like semi-perfect Cell. She's like, "Oh god, another one, not again."
Because he ate her the last time.
Yeah, exactly. Which honestly, I kind of wish Android 17 was there too, because I think it would have been awesome if he was there and he's like, "Oh great, yeah, another Cell." Yeah, but so then you have all the characters kind of tag teaming, joining forces, trying to take down Cellmax, but everything they do is impervious to them. Like first Gamma 1 and Gamma 2 try to take him on themselves,
Yeah.
but they both get like clobbered by Cellmax, and so the rest of them join up. And eventually during the fight, Trunks and Goten turn to Gotenks, the fat Gotenks
Well,
though. 'Cause
they try to do the fusion dance, but at the last second they get their fingers off.
yeah, and of course that
So-
turns them to the fat Gotenks.
And they try to go
Like-
Super Saiyan, and that doesn't work.
Yeah, and so they're like trying to take him down and everything, but eventually at some point, one of the Gammas mentions that the top of Cellmax's head is like his weak point.
Yeah.
So they try to aim for that, and you have like Gotenks like literally get
So-
volleyballed.
So Gotenks, after he fails to go Super Saiyan, because they had already established the head as the target.
Yeah,
And like right before that, Piccolo had actually got an energy blast on the top of the head, but it didn't do anything. It just got absorbed.
yeah,
And so Gotenks is like, all right, well, I can't go Super Saiyan, so I'll just charge in and hope for the best. So he goes flying. Cellmax just knocks him out of the way, and then he becomes a pinball for most of the other fighters.
you got like
And I-
Android 18 kicking him, you got freaking Gamma 2 hitting him, Piccolo
And
hitting him.
Yeah, and so somebody knocks him straight down towards Cellmax, and so he accelerates himself and headbutts Cellmax on the top of his head, which forms cracks in the
Yeah.
outer layer. So everybody's excited about that.
Yeah, but Cellmax immediately knows that he's in danger, so he's just like, all right, enough. So then Cellmax literally turns into Shin Godzilla and they start shooting lasers out of every part of his body. It literally looks like Shin Godzilla. I was like,
Yeah.
there's no, you couldn't borrow that. So like you got him like shooting lasers out of everywhere and people are dodging and trying to deflect it and everything. And so eventually Gamma 2 is just like, all right, I have an idea. I think I have a plan that might be able to take out Cellmax. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go up. So like he basically says like when it happens, get out of the way and like get as far away as you can.
Yeah.
And so before Gamma 2 goes off, Gamma 1's
they
trying
were-
to like
They said that when Cellmax's weak point is hit and it destroys him, it
Yeah.
activates a self-destruct. So
yeah. Well, I thought he was just saying that because I thought like the attack is gonna do it and it was like gonna be like a huge
it was
attack.
a combination of both.
Oh, okay.
Because he was expecting to succeed and then like
Yeah, blow
combined
up
blast.
Yeah, and then Cellmax also was going to blow up too if you
Yeah.
destroyed the head, top of the head. But before he goes, Gamma 1's trying to coax him not to go, but Gamma 2 is just like Dr. Halo's still alive, by the way, because like when Cellmax woke up, there was like a huge explosion, and you think Dr. Halo gets like absorbed or like killed by the explosion, but he's still
Yeah.
alive. So then after that, Gamma
And this-
2, yeah,
So, and what's also nice about this interaction between Gamma 1 and 2 is when at the beginning, when Gamma 2 came back from fighting Piccolo, Gamma 1 was like, did you check for the body?
yeah, you didn't check to confirm it. Is basically
Yeah.
what it says.
And so now the roles get reversed. So Gamma 2 is like, you didn't check for the body?
Yeah, and so he kind of gives him like a coy smile. It's like, huh.
Before
And
he-
then that's
shoots
when he
him.
fires off into the upper atmosphere, and you just see not Cell. You see Gamma 2 like powering up. He's like, "Ah!" and then they all like move out of the way. They're trying to like distract Cellmax or trying to like keep him busy. And you have this really cool moment where Android 18 is about to like get attacked by Cellmax, but then Krillin comes in with the Destructo disc, and even uses the solar flare to kind of blind Cellmax for a little bit, which I think was awesome. It was cool to see Krillin do something.
Yeah, he used that as the last action before Gamma 2 comes down.
Yeah, exactly. So then Gamma 2 is coming down like a freaking comet, a freaking asteroid, which that entire scene was awesome. Like the scream and like the detail and the animation throughout all of it was just amazing. Like what did you think? But like after that, Gamma 2's on the ground and he's like basically decolored. Like he's just gray and black.
Well,
Because he gets the last bit of his energy.
so he comes charging down, and at the last minute, Cellmax puts up his left arm to block the attack.
Yeah.
And so Gamma 2, I'm not sure if he if he knew that he wasn't over his head anymore, but he pushes everything into it, and he basically slices off Cellmax's arm.
Yeah.
And but yeah, because he used up all of his energy, he's kind of like Optimus Prime when he died.
Yeah, in
Just
the original movie.
goes like grayscale.
Yeah.
And so that pisses off Piccolo because like Cellmax is ready to stomp on
Yeah,
Gamma 2.
he goes like, "Don't shoot there." Yeah.
So he goes Piccolo Orange again, and he's strong enough to hold Cellmax's foot at bay. And Krillin comes over to help him hold it at bay,
And he's like,
which
"Go
gives
big."
which gives Gamma 1 time to come in and scoop up Gamma 2 to drop him off next to Dr. Hedo. But yeah, Krillin says, "Go big," like he did against Goku. He's like, "Oh yeah, I forgot I could do that."
I'm like, my God, dude, come on. Which is just so funny. But yeah, Piccolo turns big, and then we have another freaking, it's technically like a kaiju fight between Orange Piccolo and Cellmax, which is actually really cool because we don't really get a lot of big on big fights in Dragon Ball. So it's really cool that they like added that kind of like ending to it. But speaking of which, though, I want to get your opinion on this. What did you think of Cellmax in this movie?
I mean, he was definitely, a threat. I mean, he was just pure animal instinct. So it was, nothing like the original Cell. Like the original Cell was just pure evil.
Yeah, this one, he's a kaiju basically. He doesn't really have that much personality. He's a giant monster, just attacking.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, he's got enough intelligence to like know how to counterattack and like who to go after and stuff like that and what to do, but it's not the same kind of sinister, intelligence like the original Cell had, where like he, was torturing people and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it was really interesting because I mean, essentially he was like the original Broly.
Yeah,
like Broly was just pure rage, like monster. Not there was no talking to him, no getting through, no. Nothing.
Yeah. Well, also like Cellmax kind of remind me of Prudagon from that other Dragon Ball Z movie.
Oh yeah. The Return of the Dragon Fist.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, because like that's another kaiju-esque villain.
Yeah. And so yeah, I mean it was cool to see that he was kaiju size and not just like normal size, like because like when they first showed him, I wasn't really sure what the scale was.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't like. Granted, I might have been a little distracted when I was watching it, but like when he first comes out, like they don't have like Hedo and him like face to face. It was like they cut to Hedo watching him, and then him just falling out into like this pool of water.
Yeah, exactly. But eventually, you get a sense of the sheer size of this guy.
Yeah.
You're like, oh crap.
Which explains why he was just like guttural roars and everything like that.
Yeah. I kind of wish they borrowed a little bit more from like the Imperfect Cell design, because I think that one kind of matches the design of like an actual monster a bit more than Semi-Perfect Cell did. Like I don't know, like it's just me. I mean, it still works for what they were doing with it. Like I still think it's fine. I just think that they could have, I don't know, like to me, Imperfect Cell just reminds me more of like an actual movie monster. So I feel like
but the thing about the Imperfect Cell is he's not the larva stage, but he's like right after it. So that's where it makes more sense that they went with the Semi-Perfect Cell
to make him a bit stronger.
Yeah, because that was like a much stronger level. It was much more mature level.
Yeah.
And it was like one step away from being finalized. So
yeah, being perfect. Yeah, that's true. I could see that.
Which could you imagine that size of a perfect cell?
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been crazy if they actually did that. If they made him like turn perfect cell halfway.
And I have a feeling that that's what like Dr. Herod was actually going for.
Yeah, that might have happened.
if he hadn't been released early.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, back into the fight. Orange Piccolo and Gohan kind of like manage. Well, Orange Piccolo actually gets the better of Cell Max because like it grabs like this huge like beam or whatever and just like slams it on top of him.
Yeah.
And so you have like this little moment between him and Gohan. Gohan's like, "Yes, you can take him on. You're stronger than him." But Piccolo's like, "No, I'm only bigger. Like this technique I do only increases my size, doesn't increase my strength at all."
Yeah, it's just a bluff.
I'm already starting to get tired too. So then he's like, "So here's the plan." So what?
Oh, we forgot to mention earlier. Sorry.
Yes.
Earlier on, like when they were before they started the fight with the Cell Max,
Yeah.
Piccolo pulls out the two Senzu beans and he goes to toss. He tosses one to Gohan, and because Gohan doesn't have his glasses, he misses it and loses it. And Piccolo's like, "Well, this other one's for me, so screw you."
Yeah. He's like, "Well, you gotta do your best then." But in this moment, Piccolo decides to give Gohan that last Senzu bean, and so it's a very funny like image where you just have this huge orange Piccolo trying to
Find this little
tiny Senzu bean. He's like, "Ugh, this makes it harder with my bigger hands." But like he gives Gohan the Senzu bean, so Gohan eats it, and so he's like, "All right, here's a plan. I'm gonna just do my best against Cell Max, and you're gonna power up as much as you can and give Cell Max a final blow. Like this is do or die, Gohan. This is give it all or nothing."
Yeah.
So then Cell Max gets back up, and they have this huge fight, and everybody's trying to not take down Cell Max, but they're trying to at least keep him busy until Gohan can like power up.
Well, everybody kind of stays out of it to let Piccolo do his thing until Piccolo starts losing.
Yeah, because Krillin's just like, "Gohan, what are you doing? Like Piccolo's about to die." Donald, what up, Donald?
Hold on, let me see. I know I can show this. Hold on.
There
we go.
Show the comment.
Let's see. Might not be showing on this side because it's YouTube. So
no, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, but hey, Donald, glad to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, Donald. But yeah, but where you're going off is like, yeah, everybody's kind of like giving the fight its space, but then as soon as Piccolo's like starting to lose, they jump in and try to help him out. And Gohan can't really move at all because he's just trying to power himself up as much as he can. And even like later on in the fight where Gohan like is like after everybody's like been taken out by Cell Max, like everybody's like been beaten down, Gohan is like about to jump in, but Piccolo even tells him, "No, stay out of it. Like don't like come in yet. Like keep powering up. I can still take him." But Piccolo's like looking really rough right now. Like he's bleeding and everything like that. Which also, hey, blood. A welcome return to blood in the Dragon Ball series. Thank you. Finally. Some actual stakes. But you have but like freaking Cell Max is just like giving it to Piccolo, man. Like he's just beating the crap out of him. And eventually Cell Max is like lifts him up into the air and just shoots a bunch of those lasers at him. And he just holds up Orange Piccolo's body and just roars. And you think that at this moment, like, oh shit, is Piccolo dead? Even
Everybody's dead.
Yeah. You think like almost everybody's dead. Well, they're all really knocked out. No one's really dead.
Yeah.
But you think like, oh shit, like this is like that, like what now? Like almost everybody's been taken out. Gohan still has to power up or whatever. So Gohan sees Piccolo dead, and then you get like a nice reference to when he snaps with Perfect Cell. You have like the red line behind him, like the black screen. You have that red line that kind of zips through. Yeah. So you immediately know, you're like, uh-oh. So then Gohan...
Well, it's also a callback to Goku's first transformation when he saw Krillin get killed by Frieza.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, really, really half of the transformations in the series are like somebody they love is almost about to die, and they're like, well, that's almost like the anime transformation. It's just like someone I love is about to die. Yeah, exactly. But Gohan literally transformed, like his eyes glow red, and then he just like a huge explosion of energy and power. And we get a new form for Gohan, and this form is called Beast Gohan. And he has, and so his eyes are all red and everything. He's got red pupils, and his hair is all gray, so it kind of looks like, it kind of reminds you of Ultra Instinct in a way with Goku. But like, what did you think of Beast
It-
Gohan?
I was excited.
Oh, you're excited? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
everybody was. You're like, oh shit, oh shit.
Yeah, like it was like, yeah, finally
Yeah,
transforms. It's about time.
yeah.
So
Because like we hadn't gotten like a new form for Gohan for like a while. Like we had
yeah,
given a bunch of new forms for Goku and Vegeta, but we had never hadn't gotten a new form for like Gohan, like since like Ultimate
since he got
Gohan
yeah, that was
or
the
Super
last
Saiyan
time.
2.
Uh,
So
but
yeah,
yeah, that it was awesome. And then like immediately, uh, Cell Max launches an attack, punches him, and he just stands there and takes it. He's like, "That all you got?"
yeah. But some Max is like, oh, and Gohan's just like, all right, my turn, and he just delivers like this freaking Common Rider kind of kick to Cell Max's stomach and just sends him flying back.
Yeah,
And so Max gets back up and he starts preparing like this huge like ball of energy, kind of just like Beast Gohan's Beast. Yes, literally he is. But yeah, Max is like powering up this like huge energy blast. It kind of looks like Broly's blast from like the Broly movie, where like he kind of powers up this huge like green energy ball.
yeah. It's also
And
kind of
so
like Frieza's planet destroying.
oh,
blast,
that's
too.
right. Yeah. Yeah, where he like holds up his finger and you just see like a little energy ball. But like, yeah, he's powering it up and Gohan's just standing there and Gohan actually cracks a smile. Like he like looks at him like Gohan like looks evil in that moment.
Yeah,
Because it's that kind of like pride getting to his head again where he kind of did with Perfect Cell where he's like, nah, I ain't done with you yet. I want to enjoy this.
yeah,
But then immediately before he like loses it, Piccolo shouts out and he's like, "Go on!" And Gohan kind of like snaps back into focus again because you see Piccolo's orange because Piccolo gets back up again and he like stretches out his arm and he like wraps it around Cell Max, like trying to keep him at bay.
yeah,
And so so you have Orange Piccolo trying to hold Cell Max down while Gohan prepares the last final attack, and it's not a Kamehameha, it's not anything else like that. It's actually the Makankasapo, or a special beam cannon that he starts
yep.
preparing. And that special beam cannon looked amazing, by the
Yeah,
way.
the powering up of it and everything, all the energy coming to him and stuff. I was just like, this is awesome.
It's so good. He's just like powering up, and you just see like Piccolo getting swung around because Cell Max notices that Gohan's powering something up. So like his wings that he has back of him start to like buzz, and he like tries to fly off, but Orange Piccolo is trying to keep holding him down.
Yeah, he actually had to like regenerate his left arm to wrap him
Yeah,
up even more with both arms.
yeah, because we forgot to mention that earlier in the fight when Piccolo was getting his ass kicked, eventually Cell Max shoots like a beam out of his mouth and like just completely like zaps away Piccolo's like left arm or right arm.
Yeah,
Left, I think.
left arm.
Yeah, left arm. And so he like regenerates that and he's trying to hold down Cell Max. And eventually Gohan just releases a special beam cannon. Cell Max throws energy ball, but that doesn't matter because the beam cannon just like bursts right through it and just boom blows up Cell Max's head. And
Yeah.
Piccolo just like lets him fall. And then they're both just like, we did it. But then Gamma 1 like flies
Reminds
out.
everybody.
He's like holding Dr. Hato and Gamma 2, and he's like, run! Somebody's about to blow up! So then you got all of them like picking each other up and stuff like that. You got
Orange Piccolo giant scooping
yeah,
up goat tanks.
he like grabs him by like the legs and he's just like carrying him behind him. And you just see the explosion happen behind them. So you have like Gohan in the front, Piccolo on the side, and the others flying away. Which I also forgot to mention that Pan, Krillin, and Bulma are in like the Capsule Corp ship, or like little Capsule Corp flying ship or whatever.
Yeah.
So like they're a good distance away from the explosion.
Well, Pan and Bulma, because
Yeah, that's
Krillin
right.
was part of.
Krillin was still, yeah, you're right. Krillin was still helping them out.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bulma and Pan are okay. They're in there, and they see Krillin, I guess, is still alive. So Bulma just goes, "Oh, okay, everybody's okay then."
Yeah.
Because the Krillin's alive, then we're okay. So then they fly down. Pan goes to look for her dad and Piccolo and Gohan are still in their kind of ultimate forms.
But Piccolo shrinks himself back down, and they're like
Yeah, but then
commenting each other about it.
Yeah, but then they eventually power down, and Gohan goes back to normal along with
Because
Piccolo.
Pan actually looked a little afraid of them.
Yeah, she was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah.
Yeah, which also like, what was I gonna say? I really like the design of Beast Gohan. I just think though, I think they made his hair like a little too tall. I think they sort of shortened it down a tiny bit. No.
Nope.
Okay. Okay.
Because he had short hair, and so it's kind of like Goku's Super Saiyan 3, like where his hair just grows out. So
yeah, no, you got a good point. But like, yeah, they powered down. Pan Gibbs.
Yes, bald Krillin's better than hair Krillin.
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh hell yeah! I freaking hate Krillin with hair. It looked so weird. But Pan kind of gives Gohan a hug. Mom, dad and daughter are reunited again. Piccolo kind of looks back to check on Gamma 1 and their others, and Gamma 2, and I mean Gamma 1 and Dr. Hato are kind of like looking down at Gamma 1 because Gamma 2 is dead, like he's gone, and he kind of just like dusts away like from Infinity War.
Yep.
And Piccolo walks in, and he's like, he was a good man, or like he was a good guy. Like, he'll be remembered. Like it was a real superhero, basically what he's telling them. So then you got Gamma 1 and Dr. Hato kind of like wondering like what they're gonna do now. And Dr. Hato's just kind of like, well, I guess I might as well go back to jail. But Bulma kind of is like, wait a minute, you're good with technology, right? And well, he mentions I think something about his body taking damage, and she's like, how would you feel about cosmetics?
Yeah.
So Bulma kind of hires him to like work on cosmetics for the Capsule Corporation company. And so
gives Gamma 1 the job of like security.
Yeah, which is really cool. So you got that taken care of, and you got like another little cute moment between Gohan and Piccolo. Piccolo's just like, by the way, what was that? What was that last attack you used? He was like, oh, it was a special beam cannon. He was like, I never taught you that. And Gohan is like, well, I was practicing it. And Piccolo's just like, huh, it looked pretty good. So he gives him like a little compliment. So you got like a little nice mentor and protege going there.
And then Pan shows that she could fly, so Piccolo's like, all right, you're ready for the next stage of your training tomorrow.
Yep. And that's where the movie ends. But wait!
Sort of.
Yes, but wait! An after
credit scene.
Yes, there's an after credit sequence. Go. You know what?
So
since I've been talking enough, you go on ahead, DJ, and tell us what the credit scene is.
So after the credits roll, we go back to Barris's planet, and we see the tail end of Goku and Vegeta's huge, devastating battle, where they're both like barely able to move, and Vegeta slowly lands a punch on Goku, and Goku falls over. So Whis calls the battle in Vegeta's favor, and Vegeta cheers because he finally beat Goku, and then he passes out too.
Yeah, he's like, beat Kakarot, and he just falls back.
And then that's the true end.
Yeah, but then you have Chilak going like, that was dumb. And then you have this shot of Lemo and Broly crying because they're like, so manly.
Yeah.
And freaking Whis eventually gets out of the chair that he was sitting in, and it's just like, oh, I had a call from Bulma. What? And then it just ends.
Yeah. After she yells at him.
Yeah, she's like, well, she doesn't really yell at him. He's just like, you okay? Like, everything okay? She's like, yeah, we had a little bit of a problem earlier, but it's fine now. And he's like, oh, okay.
You got any more treats? She's like, yeah, but they're gone now.
Yeah, he's like, oh, phooey. And so he's just like, well, I wonder what I missed. And then you just have this little like circle go like, whoop, whoop, and then that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was Dragon Ball Super Superhero. What are your final thoughts, DJ?
Final thoughts. A lot of fun. Really enjoyed the animation, like we talked about earlier. The special effects were really cool.
Yes.
And I was really happy that they focused on Piccolo and Gohan and gave them the spotlight to finally get some new forms and everything. And having seen it in action, now I want to get an action figure of Orange Piccolo.
Is there? I think there might be a figure actually.
There is for SH Figure Arts. They did come out with it, but I didn't really pay attention to it, so now I got to track that down and get it for my collection.
Yeah. Okay, here's my question though. Which one did you like more? Did you like Orange Piccolo or Beast Gohan more?
I mean, Beast Gohan was really cool too, but I mean, we kind of seen like that, you know, and with Vegeta and Goku and stuff, we've seen kind of that style and look.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that his eyes are red instead of like the normal blue or greenish.
Yeah, I really cool. Yeah.
But Orange Piccolo, I mean, it's the first time that we see a Namekian in a different form. Like
Mhm.
we've seen him big, we've seen him, slightly different color shades of green and stuff like that, but we've never seen them actually transform like that. So,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, I like both. I don't really have any issues with both of them, but I like Orange Piccolo a little bit more.
Yeah. And for those wondering what Beast Gohan really looks like, here's an image of him. Well, here's a figure image of him. Kind of looks like that.
Yeah,
Not a very good image, but whatever. But yeah, I kind of agree with you though. I think I kind of like Piccolo's design a little bit better because like yeah, Beast Gohan is like very familiar. We've seen the design kind of before. Again, like as soon as I saw it, the first time I saw it, I immediately thought I'm like, what does he have Ultra Instinct now or some shit? But no,
yeah,
he doesn't. Because like I immediately thought of Ultra Instinct when I saw like right here. I was like, oh, what does he have that now? I'm like wonderful. But yeah, no, but going off the final thoughts of the movie, yeah, I agree. This is probably, I think, I haven't seen a lot of Dragon Ball movies, but this is probably like one of my favorites ever, really.
yeah.
Because I just think it's like really good. Like I think, it's like I don't know if I would put it above Broly, but it's like right there. I would say. Like I think Broly and this one are like right there with each other.
Yeah, my favorite Dragon Ball movie is the Rebirth of Fusion.
Oh, Fusion Reborn.
Yeah, Fusion Reborn. That one's my
Yeah,
ultimate all time favorite for Dragon
that
Ball
one's pretty
movies.
good. Yeah, that one's pretty good too.
Um, but yeah, this one and Broly are both really good. I think much better than the Return of Frieza. Um,
Oh, Resurrection F.
yeah.
This is garbage.
um,
I didn't even like try to watch that one. Battle of Gods though was actually pretty good. I really like Battle of
yeah,
Gods.
that
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 was
one was fun.
yeah.
But yeah, Broly. I think Broly still takes kind of like the lead spot between these two because of the fact that we actually get a better storyline for Broly finally, and they
Mhm.
actually make him canon in that.
Yeah. And make him like
Um,
an actual character.
yeah. Uh, so, and it's kind of got a special spot for me because it was the last time that Vic Mignogna voiced Broly. And it was
Hmm.
actually the first time that he actually got to talk as Broly rather than just screaming Kakarot all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but but yeah, both movies very good. So
Yeah. I would say yeah. I think I kind of agree with that. I think Broly is like a smidge over superhero, but I still think superhero is like really good. Like I would
yeah,
definitely recommend it to anybody who's a Dragon Ball fan or anybody who's like those like me, a casual Dragon Ball fan. I still had a lot of fun with it. So
yeah, yeah. If you want to
definitely
see like like we both said, the visual effects in this one, especially during the last fight and everything like that, are just top notch
yeah.
and so hard to explain. Like to give it justice.
Exactly. Like our words do not give enough justice to the animation in this movie because it's
So
spectacular.
definitely gotta. If you haven't seen it, you definitely gotta watch it.
Yes, definitely check it out. If you have Crunchyroll, it's on Crunchyroll, so that's how I watched it. Like it's available right there.
Yeah, it should
Broly,
be because they were the ones that produced it.
yeah, Broly is not though, which
No.
pissed me off. I'm like, damn it,
Yeah.
but it's
So.
fine. That was actually they have a lot of Dragon Ball movies on Crunchyroll. It was very surprising. Yeah, but yeah, that was our review discussion on Dragon Ball Super Superhero.
So, with all that being said, next week we're going to return to Mobile Fighter G Gundam. We're going
Yeah,
to start checking out the second half of the tournament, find out what happens to our favorite fighters.
yeah. So we
And
go from one fighting movie about fighting to another show about fighting with
yep.
giant mechs.
And so yeah, we'll get back into that. We'll finish reviewing that, and then once we get to the end of that series, we'll announce either the next movie or the next series that we're going to review. And yeah, so if you've watched to this point, thank you for checking out our video, our review, and make sure you hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. And please share, and please leave comments below about your thoughts about the movie if you've seen it. Thoughts about Dragon Ball, the series, like everything going on. I know that there's the new Daima series, which I got to check out. Heard a lot of good things about it, so eventually I'll get around to watching that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And, so yeah. Any final thoughts from you, Remy, before we close it out?
No. Yeah, the same thing. Just leave a comment if you want. Discuss this movie, or discuss Dragon Ball in general. Just tell us your thoughts on Orange Piccolo and Beast Gohan. Do you like them? Do you hate them?
All right. And with that, we're going to call it a night. So see you later.
Farewell.
Come on, work. Okay. Well, I was going to try and do a closing, but apparently Rumble's freaking out. So
Damn it.
see ya.
All right, there you go. Pretend there's an outro happening right here.
Oh no, it's frozen. I gotta hold on. I gotta refresh this.
Nah, he left me. I'm alone. Help! I'm stuck. Glad you haven't stopped by, Donald.
All right, let's try this again.
All right. Second time's the charm.
Yeah.
Let's see how this
Hopefully.
goes. Yes. There we go.